like to give a quick introduction for us?
My name is Beyer. I'm 34 years old. I run Tronique and I travel the world and I like it.
You like it? Me too. Adam's very much been there from the beginning of the techno scene, early 90s. I think you started out kind of working at Planet Rhythm Records.
Yeah.
In the early 90s?
Yeah, after I left school I started working at Planet Rhythm Records, yeah.
With a couple of other famous Swedes.
Exactly. Carrie was there and Jesper Dahlbeck, Jon Boda. It was kind of a melting pot. We all met there and things started to happen.
Yeah, there's something in the water in Sweden that everybody amazing comes out of Sweden. So you started DJing in the early 90s?
Yes. Well, actually late 80s.
Late 80s,
really young,
when you were really young.
It became a profession.
So then your first release, from what I can work out, was that in 1995?
No, my first release was in 93 already.
93.
But I started using my own name in 95. Before
Right,
that
okay.
we were using like some pseudonyms. But in 95 I felt kind of ready to use my own name because I knew that I found the sound
Found the sound
that
you
was me.
So how did you make that progression then from sort of DJing into production? Did you just get in the studio and learn the software, or did you work with somebody else till you learned and knew what you were doing? Or?
Well, I was actually still in school and I was DJing and Jon Boda went to the same school and he came from a more musical background, so he had his friend in his class doing the same thing. That was, he had a sampler but he didn't know what to do with it really. Right. He really liked techno. So he linked us up to me, or he got us to me, and we started to play around with it. And then we became friends, and this guy is Peter Benish, who I did my first record with. And yeah, we started playing around with it, and then we bought some more equipment and added pieces. And so it was kind of a slow process because we didn't have a lot of money, and equipment back then was really expensive. You know,
yeah.
It wasn't like just getting a computer and get started. You had to get like hardware, pieces of hardware, you know. So we were saving up for each piece, and then we learned it, really like got into it, and then the next one we got a computer, and then a 303, and so on. So we were sitting in my bedroom in the beginning. We didn't have a studio or anything.
So was it always techno, or like how did you get to that point?
Well, in the beginning,
because it was a very early scene those days.
Early 90s was kind of spread out, so we were into a bit of everything. I mean, I was 17 at the time when I had my first record out, even. So we were kind of listening to everything that we could get our hands on. Like it was everything from, I went to London and bought a lot of jungle records, and breakbeat records. At the same time as I was buying RNS records and like Belgium stuff and Detroit stuff. So it was just a big mishmash of everything. But then it started to crystallize around 94, 95 for me. I think when I started hearing all the like Jeff Mills records and that early sort of harder, tougher techno.
Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit. I was kind of, yeah, but also a lot of the European stuff like C.J. Bolland and RNS was a massive influence, and also Reload and a few of the German labels like Hard House and all that. I think that's when I knew where to go.
So then 1996 comes on and you set up Drum Code. What was your thinking then? How old were you then? Were you ready to set up a label? Did you know what you were doing? Like why did that come about then?
Well, I was 20 and I had a few records out on Planet Rhythm. They did well, but it took maybe like 10 months for them to get out sometimes, and I didn't feel like I had control over when to release them, and I was producing so much at the time, so when they actually came out I felt like I was already somewhere else.
You've already moved on, haven't you?
I already moved on,
so
and then this record comes where you feel like that stuff is old.
Yeah, so I don't like that anymore.
Plus, like there was, you didn't get paid in time, and it was like, so I just wanted control. So it was basically I just wanted to decide for my own what to put out and when, and to see like have full visibility of what was going on. So that was the reason for setting it up, and I also had this idea of what I wanted to do with it, which was like a quality DJ label, like tools and tracks for DJs.
So are you still, obviously, I mean, from then till now, you're just phenomenally busy. You're still very much instrumental in Drum Code, and are you always at the heart of things there, running things there, and picking the music?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm doing. I mean, now I have a team working together with me. It's
yeah,
not just me anymore. But yeah, I'm still doing all the A&Ring and obviously, I mean, I think that's the main, that's the core of the label. I have to sort of choose what we're gonna put out and what to release and stuff. Yeah, I love it. I mean, for a couple of years, it was a little bit quiet because we had a very strong sound during the end of the 90s, beginning of the 2000s, but then it kind of got a little bit watered out with all the labels doing the same thing. So I slowed it down and I started to get inspired but the slightly slower stuff again. And I was really into like the more minimal techno around 95, 96 at Robert Hood. So it felt like it started to go full circle again and all these other cool minimal records came about. So I went into that a little bit more and I didn't focus so much on drum code. I did a couple of releases for other labels like Plus 8 and Crowe and whatnot. Soul and all those things. And but then after a few years I felt there was something missing again, and I felt like that I could take the inspiration I got from that period back into drum code and make something new out of it.
So when did True Soul and Mad Time come around then? What were the purpose of those labels when drum code was already up and running?
Well, True Soul, I started True Soul in 2002, and the idea behind True Soul was to have a platform for anything electronic basically, which was not drum code.
So you could experiment as well?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, longer tracks, albums, clubbier things, Detroit inspired things, or even like ambient albums or whatever. Just like a broader platform for...
Was it a platform for you to express or for you to find other artists to express? Like,
the main idea was to find other artists, yeah. And I mean, I started it off with making an album of my own. So, yeah, but you know, whatever came my way, I think. But, I mean, that's... At the time, we were pushing mostly Swedish music though, which I've kind of changed over the last few years because I have so many good contacts with other people around the world, so I want to...
So then, where...
From everywhere.
Where drum code's at the moment then, like, obviously sound changes so much over time, like there's a big sort of house explosion at the moment, a lot of techno DJs have gone more deeper and they're playing again a bit slower again, and some of your productions like recently are amazing and they've been a bit more, not as, do you know what I mean, a bit more slowed down. I don't know if it was Cactus or Forming Died, which one of those tracks. What does drum code look for in an artist at the moment, in a track, not an artist at the moment? Like, is it anything specific, or, you know, obviously it's got to be a good track, but is there anything particular sound-wise that you're looking for in music at the moment for drum code?
I mean, I think if you listen to the whole catalogue, I think there's always going to be a red line throughout the whole thing. You can always like know it's a drum code record or it's, you know, it's connected to the label. We don't do like far left or far right things. We have like our sound, even though it changes over time, obviously. And right now, I think a lot of the stuff, like, because it's such a beatport based scene and a lot of things sounding the same, everyone's having the same tempo, so I just try to keep it a little bit edgier. Always have that little edge to it that makes it stand out and still be like, you can say like, yeah, this is techno.
Yeah, drum code's one of the most...
There's no doubt about...
No, it's been one of the biggest players as a record label in sort of the techno scene.
Yeah.
So you've got to stage, obviously the last few years we've been putting on drum code events and things, so like worldwide, what kind of things have you got going on with the label at the moment?
Well, we're doing events. May was a really busy month release-wise. What else do? Yeah, I got a radio show coming up called Drum Code as well. So those are the main things we're focusing on right now. Event-wise, we have a couple of regular places we go every year, such as Berghain, Fabric, Fuse, Brussels, and Awakenings, Holland. We're going to do a Japan tour end of summer. There's loads of things.
Busy as always.
Yeah, it's good. And release-wise, I think we had 5 releases out in May. We've Ben Sims, Slam, we have a new Alan Fitzpatrick album coming out on Monday. What else did we do? There's so much I don't even keep track of it.
He's an English guy, right?
He's English, yes. He's English, he's amazing.
I played in Lithuania and he played the week after. He's pretty tough, isn't he?
probably can be, yeah.
Yeah, he's cool. I like his productions. That Ben Sims track as well. Was that yours? Is it? That's like.
Hypnosis. And
yeah,
stuff.
was that on Joko?
Yeah, that was
brilliant track. Absolutely brilliant. So the rest of the summer then, are you back in Ibiza, festivals? What have you got coming up? Both.
Yeah, I think I got 4 dates in Ibiza. One for Cocoon,
wicked.
together with Carola and Richie and everyone, and then 3 dates at Space.
What night are you playing for at Space?
It's going to be on Thursdays. One of them is a drum club party with me, Lamfaki, and a couple of other people. The other 2 I'm playing on other nights. Like one is Chris Liebing and Mark, I think, and one of them is with some other people. I don't know.
Wonderful. Everything seems just as per usual to be going completely
Yeah.
all the time. So you're still enjoying things and.
Very much so, yeah. I mean, it keeps changing, you know. As long as you change things and make things happen and go try new things, I think it's, you know, it's all about evolving and progressing. And,
well, that's what the only other question
yeah.
I was going to ask was like, it's such a fickle scene. People can explode. They can make a track and explode, and then not make anything else after that, and they're like flavor of the month for a year. But like, you've been doing this now for like nearly 20 years. Like, how do you even get to that point where you can just constantly stay at the front of everybody's minds, constantly at the front of their choices of people to book? Like, how do you try and keep ahead of things? Do you just sort of have your own ideas, or like how do you manage to stay at the front?
I don't even think about like staying at the front. I just do what I do, and that's, I think it's my secret. You know, I just follow my heart and my taste of music, and I play it and I release it. And you know, I think if you stick to something and you are determined to make it, it's quite likely you do. You know, you just gotta stick with it and ride it out sometimes.
And people just continue to like what you do. So
yeah, I mean, there's been uppers and downers, but mostly uppers, and you know, it's a good thing.